Welcome back. You're watching the Global Goals Studio. Marilyn, I have a question for you. You wrote the regulatory guidelines for the green bonds. Now that the EU has announced that they will start regulating them, do you think that that will help the market, or do you think it could slow it down?
Thanks for that question. I think, first of all, I was responsible and one of the co-authors of the voluntary process guidelines called the Green Bond Principles, just to differentiate them. Certainly, the EU has created a taxonomy, Green Bond Principles, disclosure requirements, which will move into the regulatory space. And it's a very interesting question. The taxonomy is ambitious, and it'll be important that, as Paul mentioned earlier, companies need to get aggressive in order to meet these objectives. So it'll be a very interesting development to see once they come into full force in the next year or so. But I think the jury is still out to see whether it increases or causes some of the green bond issuance to slow.
Stefano Boeri, as an architect, is it getting any easier to convince clients that they should invest in a beautiful structure or a responsible building?
Well, sure. I think we have to do our best to, let's say, find a way to combine architecture and living nature. And let me add that probably COVID-19 has also, let's say, convinced us that air pollution is one of the most, let's say, serious and dangerous in our environment. We know now that air pollution is one of the causes of the intensity of diffusion of the COVID-19 in some parts of the world, like one in China or Milano in Italy. So we know that the leaves of the trees are absorbing the fine dust pollutants that are weakening our lungs. So I believe that this, let's say, campaign to implement a number of trees and environment in our city, it's absolutely necessary.
Paul Polman, responsible production is a sustainable development goal, but not all companies, as we know, are sadly serious about this. Let's take a listen to what Bank of America executive Anne Finucane had to say on the subject at the World Economic Forum yesterday.
In recent years, there's a fair amount of data that's been put forward to demonstrate that ESG, if it's inculcated into the behavior of a company, that the company itself does better, less bankruptcy, higher satisfaction with its clients and customers, and even sometimes a higher multiple. So all of those are accrue to the benefit of looking at ESG.
Paul Polman, do other executives, the people that you know so well, do they agree that they can build stronger businesses by integrating ESG, or is it still something of an add-on for them?
Well, I think more and more companies are now seeing that if you run your organization, not only for your shareholders, but also for your other stakeholders, then ultimately your shareholders will benefit long term. The case is made, I think, for organizations that are more gender diverse in giving you a better financial performance. The case is made for companies that internalize climate change and the challenges for giving you a better performance. The case is made for companies taking care of their employees, having a more engaged workforce, especially now with the pressures of COVID, and translating again in better performance. Over and over and over, we see that companies that are responsibly run for the longer term, that take responsibility of their total footprint in society, are actually also companies that have a better financial performance. And that is not only true in the financial market, where ESG investments have outperformed non-ESG investments, but it's also true in the business world. And that's why you see the momentum building.
All right, Paul Polman, Marilyn, Ceci, and Stefano Boeri, thank you so much for joining us today on Global Goals Studio. Please stay with us.
When I first came to TFI, it was safe to say that I was a very closed-minded inner city kid.
You definitely feel that you are making an impact on someone's life.
Mentors are instrumental for me. I was always looking for ways to give back because without mentors, I don't know what I would do.
Among these men, there may be a General Powell, a Mayor Bloomberg, and Albert Einstein.
Coming here has shifted my lens, my perception on the world, and has changed who I am.
Grateful to have partners like JP Morgan stepping up to meet the challenge. These are our future leaders, the kids in this room.
Things are serious when it comes to your education because a diploma can get you somewhere.
I feel like without TFI, I would have been doomed. I wouldn't even applied for college, to be honest.
I'm going to be a first-generation graduate that goes to college.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
One of the biggest things I learned was definitely the importance of diversity of experience and ideas.
Get out of your comfort zone because at some point in life you have to, and there's no backing out of it. Sometimes you just gotta go.
I'd like to especially congratulate the young men. You're the ones who did it. You're the ones who stuck with it. You're the ones who didn't quit. You're the ones who came to believe in yourselves perhaps more than you did when you started the program.
It gave me a different perspective of life and different perspective of my goals and where life could take me.
I've learned to never judge a book by its cover. People don't have to be from your situation to understand you.
TFI really said, if you think this is the baseline, you have to raise your expectations. And I'm so thankful for the program.
Thank you.